how to raise the Kundalini easily. There's no easy way, okay? Whatever anybody tells you, there's not necessarily ever an easy way. Monks will leave society and go and meditate in temples for 20 years and won't necessarily awaken the energy. I always tell people, if you're meant to awaken the energy, then it'll happen to you. If you are not meant to awaken it, it won't. But I will tell you, we're living in a day and age right now where people are having a much easier time awakening it. I think that we are closer consciously to the mind of the creator right now because there are mass Kundalini awakenings occurring and a lot of people are coming to me. So, thank you guys for that. I'm really doing my best job to do this. Cannabis can be an excellent way to awaken the Kundalini. Some people, it doesn't really work with them so well. If something doesn't work with you, then that means it's not for you. If it works well for you, that's for you. But don't be stuck in extremes. If you're going to use cannabis, don't use it every day. Don't use it all the time. Okay, this is really important because you still have a lot of things to achieve in life, and cannabis can slow you down, but it can also show you a different side of reality that can be very exciting, like psychedelics can give you a vision of the higher state of reality, which can then trigger your mind to be like, okay, I want to find this naturally. You always want to try to get to things naturally. Any kind of prescription medication is meant to block certain synapses in your brain. That's neurons firing off, communicating with different parts of the brain. It's meant to release certain chemicals, which gives you fake illusion of happiness, all right? You want real happiness. So if you're stuck on prescription medication and you had a Kundalini awakening, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to say get off of it because I don't know your condition, but do understand that prescription medication does not help you spiritually evolve. And that's what we're trying to do. There's not one person that's on prescription medication that says, hey, I feel closer to God because I'm on prescription medication. No, you do not. And if you do, it's a fake illusion. And when you get off of it, things will come back at a stronger force. So really, for Kundalini awakenings, prescription medication is highly counterproductive. This whole thing is a test, folks. It's a test of your free will. You do have free will. It's a test of your free will, and you are meant to rise above the test. You're meant to spiritually evolve and pass the test. And society tries to keep you down, telling you, yeah, you need to just focus on making money and looking good and all of this. And then you neglect your spiritual reality and you die and you haven't achieved what you're meant to do, which is awaken the Kundalini and spiritually evolve. Demonic entities can be extremely frightening, and you have to develop fortitude, strength of mind. You have to develop this because that's how you're going to advance. Everything that happens, you use a test. Your mental strength, a test of your emotional strength. Like I said, there's angels, demons, there's darkness. The darkness would be attributed to the karmic energy that you put into your chakras, how you've conditioned yourself over time, and it's your job to eradicate that energy so that your chakras, flower head, can flow in a faster rate and you can shoot off more of this light energy that's inside of you. And that's what a Kundalini awakening is. It brings this light inside of you so that you can enlighten these chakras and become an enlightened human being. That's what enlightenment means. You have the first body, the physical body, then you have the etheric body or the lower astral. That would be your earth chakra. Then you have higher astral, that's your water chakra. So it's your emotionality. Your emotions are of the water element. Then you have lower mental plane, which would be the air element. And then you have the higher mental plane, which is the fire element. Lower mental plane is your thoughts. Higher mental plane is your willpower. And then you have the spirit element. The causal body would be of the spirit element. The Kundalini energy is not prana. It's not chi. It's sublimated sexual and pranic energy. When you sublimate this energy through the mind and through different yogic practices, or when you have a spontaneous activation through the use of psychedelics or a traumatic event in your life, or just being ready or working with spiritual healing, you're trying to activate this energy. It's at the base of the spine and it rises to the top of your head and it awakens your entire chakric tree. And you bring the light from Sahasrara into your lower chakras. So you enlighten the chakras. And then the next step is having a spirit energy come into your body. This would be the infusion of the Holy Spirit that Christianity talks about, or Jesus Christ descending to the apostles as the dove. These are all allegories, symbols to describe this entire process. Look, I'm a carnivore, all right? I eat meat. First of all, everybody's different. So let's get away from this whole concept of if I eat meat, I'm bad. If you don't eat meat or you're vegetarian and vegan, you're good. This is duality consciousness. Let's snap right out of that. That's meant to divide people, all right? We're all different. You're going to have carnivores. You're going to have herbivores. Whatever works for you, works for you. What I found in my body is that I needed the protein. The protein is essential in the Kundalini awakening process. So how you bring that protein in, totally up to you. But it's very important to always stay out of duality consciousness of pointing your finger at someone and saying, he's a carnivore, he's bad. All right, let's step completely out of that. A Kundalini awakening makes you see a vision of what reality is, true reality. Once you have that vision, there's no going back. Not only that, but understand the Kundalini awakening is a physiological process. So that's not some philosophical thing. It's a real thing that happens in your body that activates different part of your nervous system, awakening certain parts in your brain. Your Ajna chakra is not the pineal gland. It's actually the pineal and pituitary, hypothalamus and thalamus, all right? It's the conjoinment of those four brain centers that gets activated to give you a rise of this higher consciousness. And that's on an anatomical level what happens. But your entire nervous system is transformed. Another thing that happens on a physical level. But then on an energetic level, you bring in this light into your chakras. So your chakras are now just shooting off all this light. And when this happens, your consciousness is entirely transformed. So obviously you're not going to be spending the same amount of time anymore being who you were. It's an entirely transformative experience from a physiological, philosophical, metaphysical, from every perspective. It completely changes you. I believe every single person has a purpose. When we attune to what our strengths are and develop them into our superpowers, we come one step closer to finding our purpose. And our purpose is something we discover, not create, but our purpose is always something that furthers the light on this planet and furthers God consciousness. Especially right now, we're all trying to band together so that we can be beings of light and help one another. We're bouncing, we're shooting off light energy off each other. And I have it and then I give it to you and then you give it to the next person. It's this whole pay it forward thing that we're doing because we are undergoing mass consciousness expansion, and this is happening 100%, and it's more clear than ever. And there's a lot of people popping up and establishing themselves as authority figures in this field to help you guys. And then as you guys develop, you'll become that too. We're trying to inspire one another, trying to help one another see beyond the limitations of this physical reality, all these restrictions imposed by society and governments and media. It's all fucking bullshit, man. All right? Because it's meant to keep you in this, I hate the word matrix, but it's meant to keep you in this concept, this perception, this vibration of perception that we're stuck in, thinking this is all there is, this is all that matters. But there's this inner reality. There's the soul and soul evolution and soul expansion. And you achieve that through a Kundalini awakening process. And that's what I'm trying to bring to you people here, is give you the science, give you the knowledge, give you the practices, give you the tools and things so that you guys can go and do that, so that you can become beacons of light for the people in your hometown and your friends and your family, and then they can become that. So it's this whole chain reaction that we're starting off. Alchemy aims to reverse the processes of nature. Nature has an alchemical process that we're going through as we are moving around the sun on our planet, 365 days of the year. You have the 4 seasons. The 4 seasons represent the 4 elements. The 4 elements are found in all of the universe, but also inside of you, because you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. Macrocosm being the solar system with the planets orbiting around the sun. The sun is the key. That's why all ancient people revered the sun, and that was their highest conception of God. It was the sun. That's not a coincidence. So we need to get back to connecting to the sun and allowing our own inner planets, because these are our higher virtues, allowing us to get in touch with these higher virtues so that we can evolve. And then when we evolve, we pass that on to other people. And that's essentially what we're trying to do with this entire process. And Kundalini is a way to start this spiritual alchemy process and put it into overdrive. And I'm talking 100 times to what it normally would be, because we're always going through the different cycles. We're always being connected with zodiacal energies. So whether it's through the cycles of the moon, whether it's through our cycles around the sun. When you look at the concept of seasons, you have right now, we're in winter, right? But we're past the point of the winter solstice. So that means the light is an increase. So it's not a coincidence that Jesus' birth was around the time of the winter solstice. It's not a coincidence, because Jesus was the sun, symbolically speaking. The 12 apostles were the 12 zodiac. They're stationary, they're fixed. They channel into the sun. They're connected to the sun. And then these energies channel onto the earth. And so when you're born, your natal chart explains which of the stars are acting on you. So this now affects your character, your personality for the rest of your... So you are fated for certain things based on your astrological placements at birth. But a Kundalini awakening process is meant to elevate you above your fate so that you become a master of your destiny. Because destiny is something you create. Because you do have free will, but Your inclinations, your likes, dislikes are all because of your astrological placements at birth.